Hello, Digidestined, and welcome back to the Digital Gate, the podcast where we go over the news and the meta of the card game side of the Digimon card game. Today, I am the Gruffy Gets Good, as usual.
Hello.
And yeah, I'm still totally done sparse. Scuffed intro, but it will make it work.
That's what we do.
Never get me to do intros.
So today we've actually got a lot more than we thought we would have. Obviously, going out of last week's episode, there was no JP news, no nothing like that, and we were kind of under the impression there wouldn't be anything for a while. And then before we knew it, half a day after, suddenly we have a massive influx of news. So we've got quite a bit to go over today.
Oh yeah, we do. I'm looking forward to it. I get to talk about my side of the game.
And I get to talk about my favourite Digimon. But first, we have to talk about some not so nice news. I mean, for us, it's not too bad over here. We only get delayed a week. But
Yep.
over in North America, it looks like they're getting BT6 and both starter decks delayed for at least a month, potentially more. At the moment, they've just said a tentative mid-November. They've not got any pre-release dates, nothing at the moment. So they're kind of just stuck in this limbo of they'll get it at some point in November. And then we've got for Oceania as well, for some reason they've also got their starter decks pushed back an extra 2 weeks from when their set comes out. So their set BT6 comes out October 15th for them. But then they've got to wait another 2 weeks to get their starter decks.
Yeah, it's going to leave a
yeah.
weird meta that they're going to have to play in, which will be fun to look at.
Yeah, as you said, they'd have
2 weeks of locals and maybe a somewhat big event, but
yeah, with no memory boosters where everyone else is going to have them.
Yeah, feel bad for you, Oceania. Not as bad as North America, though.
Yeah, they got shafted. We're okay for a change, a week we expected that.
Yeah.
If it came out on time, I'd be surprised. But yeah, as normal fashion, they've waited, 2 weeks before announcing that they're pushing it back almost a month and a half for America.
Yeah, which is typical of that, though.
At least we're getting it. At least we're getting it a week after. I mean, it means our pre-release over here is going to be on, I think it was October 7th, or maybe 8th. And then
it says, pre-release October 8th.
Yeah. And then a week after we'll get. So at some point within that span, luckily me and Holly will get hold of it, and all of America will not. But in better news, we got starter decks. So I'm really excited for these two. We'll go over some new things that I add in a bit later on in this episode. But general starter deck, this time doesn't look like there's going to be any promos. You've got 16 types of cards, which is 54 cards in total, 2 memory gauges, which are like hard plastics. I'm excited to see what they look like.
It's like the ones that you got with the 0.0 promos from your store one. So the War Greymon and the Metal Garurumon. They're the same feel as them.
So we'll have a nice Lady Devi and a Angel Woman one, which will be quite nice. Then you get the play sheet and then 3 indexes, which we assume is just going to be like the rules to play. There's not a massive difference between the contents of each starter deck. Obviously, one's based on Masty, the other one's based on Imperial, but the only other difference is there's one less common and one more rare in the Imperial list.
Yeah, which is a bit of a weird inclusion.
Yeah, because like you were saying, that in the starter decks just coming up for us, it's a rookie and the mega that are the super rares. It's hard to know what they get. Potentially, it's going to be maybe the super rares will be Power
We know
Dramon.
what the super rares for the Mastermon one is. We don't know what they are for.
Yeah, so it could be Pale Dramon and Dino Beamon, and maybe the rare will be Imperial Dramon. Just kind of leading into the big mechanic of these starter decks.
Yeah.
But we also got lists as well, so we can do a little bit of digging into this. The biggest surprise, obviously, so the big gimmick for this set is dual color as well as Jogress, so being able to fuse 2 Digimon into one. So here we get to kind of see what color each card's going to be. But my big question is obviously the babies, your level 2s, from that list show that they're monocolored. So I don't know how that's going to work kind of digivolving up. Potentially they're like monocolored, but they have this Digimon made digivolve from purple or yellow or blue or green, same as what we've seen before in other Digimon.
So like they'll be treated as them in the racing area. Or another way they could do it is if the level, all the cards in the set have 2 evolution conditions, one for purple and one for yellow, or one for blue and one for green.
Yeah, true.
Which I think is slightly more likely. As the cards they've shown to have both of these evolution requirements on them.
But one thing I'm really interested in is obviously you've got yellow purple cards, but then purple yellow. So I don't know if that's going to lead into anything.
Yeah, it might be something where like cards will take primary colors. So obviously the color to the left of the card is the primary because that's how it's ordered in the set list.
Yeah.
And then maybe like for card effects, it takes more from the primary color than the other one. So like say for something like Zwart, it'll check the primary color instead of the secondary color.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see. Obviously, this is a very, very sneak peek of the starter decks. We haven't got much in the way of like understanding of how things are gonna work, but I'm sure we will over the next couple of weeks. I mean, it's nice to see that Flower Cannon's getting, as you were saying earlier today, getting a 4th alt art.
Yeah.
And we're getting a reprint of Night Raid, which is that's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, they're both really weird cards to have alt arts, but it's kind of nice to have them.
I'm pretty sure Night Raid's locked to just bringing back purple level 3s, so means the Salamon, the Lotmon, you aren't going to be able to bring back.
Yeah, but you will be able to do Ghostmon and Tsukaimon.
But yes, it's nice to see that we're only getting a single reprint per set, but that's probably because this is a whole new mechanic they're setting up, so it's going to be a lot of new cards with a lot of new abilities, which is exciting because obviously the Gallantmon and the All Fours deck, there's quite a few reprints in each of them.
Yeah, they kind of just wanted to make the vanillas like look a bit nicer and give them more of a chance to shine.
Yeah, which to be fair, I think they did in a lot of them.
Yeah.
But then we actually got some information for Mastimon, so I'll let you go over Mastimon.
Cool, so Mastimon is the first Digimon that we've ever seen that is 2 colors at the same time, both yellow and purple. This is very, very cool. It's a very cool thing that we have this. Probably the biggest update to the game that we've seen since like BT2, where we had introduced purple and black as colors, which is weird to think about that we haven't had this big of an update since BT2. Whole 6 sets ago?
Yeah, almost like what, a year and a couple of months for probably about a year for Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is exactly a year for Japan.
But I think that's a good rate, because something like a big mechanic, if you implement it too often, it's going to constantly change like the state of the game. So I think leaving it a year and then digging deeper, like adding new ways to play, I think that's a good time to do it. Just like
it's also for those nice that they're experimenting with different stuff, because it shows that they're very invested in the card game.
Yeah, which is definitely exciting.
And we get to talk about the cool thing, which is DNA Digivolution or Jogress. So the way that Jogress works is you take the 2 required Digimon that are listed on Jogress, and then you basically stack, like it says there, you stack the 2 specific cards, which means you get to keep all of the inheritable sources of all of them. You just basically put one on top of the other and make a big stack. And then you get to Digivolve into Mastimon for free. and also unsuspended, which means you can attack with both sources and then digivolve straight up into Masty and swing with Masty again, which is very nice. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing a lot more Jogress cards in the future. Jogress is sort of a cool mechanic that they tried to explore in BT3, but just ended up doing cards that can evolve from 2 colors. But this is the true Jogress, and I like it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to how they've done, like what they've done with it, and especially with the next set in Japan being BT8, which is based off of O2. I think we're gonna see Jogress, and then it's gonna we'll maybe see like 1 or 2 a set. Like maybe we'll see. I don't even know what we'd see in like BT8. Maybe they'll just like chuck in a new Omni that's a Jogress Omni.
Yeah, that's gonna have some big payoff for it though.
Yeah.
Jogressing to a red and a blue level 6. Because I've tested this Mastemon out a bit, and getting the Jogress on it isn't the easiest thing in the world.
Maybe we'll see some mechanic within the starter deck that makes it easier. But obviously, you don't have to Jogress, so it's not like this Digimon's locked out unless you have both. That's just a way to Digivolve into it for free. Obviously, you can pay the respect in 5 cost to Digivolve into it, but then you're not going to get the main, like one of the main effects off on it.
Yeah, and let's talk about that effect, which is the Mastemons when Digivolving. So when you just Digivolve it normally, so either when you Jogress or when you normally Digivolve, you just get to take a yellow or purple Digimon card from your trash and just put it to your security stack, which is very nice. But then, if you do end up DNA Digivolving, you can then look through your security stack, play a level 5 or lower Digimon card from among them without paying the memory cost. So, like, this obviously makes it so you would like to Jogress it, because you get a free body.
It's like the current Mastemon, but in reverse. Instead of trashing your security and then bringing back a Lucemon to recover the security, you're gaining security, then pulling something out.
Yeah. Which, I don't think I'm the only person who looked at this and immediately thought Lucemon Chaos Mode.
Yeah, like, it's been doing some damage in JP at the moment, but it just makes it so much better. Because when we first saw Lucemon Chaos Mode, we were looking at it like, oh, it's okay. It's really expensive though. But this just makes it free. It's a free kill.
Yeah, makes it more than a free kill with the next skill, which
Yeah.
is the All Turns. Which is when you play another Digimon by an effect, so this can be from the first effect. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a level equal to or lower than the played Digimon. Which means Lucemon Chaos Mode can kill like a Mega and an Ultimate on play, which is bonkers.
But I guess it's why Night Raid's been put into this, just so you can bring back a rookie to kill a rookie, which is pretty nice if you got Masty out.
Yeah. Also, as a note, this All Turns is not once per turn.
Yes, so you can.
If you somehow play like 2 or 3 Digimon with a card, like if you play this and then activate like Nailbone, you get 3 pops.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you could. There's going to be some interesting builds, but we also saw a couple more of the cards get leaked as well. So obviously not as nice a picture as we got with the Masty, but we still got photos of the dual colours. We see a purple yellow and a yellow purple. So I'll go over these two. So Gatomon, so 5 to hard play, 3 to Digivolve, 4,000 DP, which is quite standard. But when played, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 purple and 1 yellow Digimon card among them to your hand. Turn the rest to the bottom of your deck. Which is like, for something like this to take place, like a Jogress of 2 colours, you need a good searcher, and this is potentially just a hard play for a +2, which is it's amazing. You are paying 5 cost to hard play it, but like they could potentially save you bricks. You're putting a level 4 on board and gaining 2 cards, and then your turn. When this Digimon is evolved into Archangel or Fallen Angel type Digimon, reduce the evolution cost by 2. So it means you could hard play this for 5, next turn potentially go up into an Angel Woman or a Lady Devi for 1 cost, which is crazy. And the inheritable is this Digimon and your other Digimon can Jogress evolve into a Digimon card in your hand by paying its cost. Which means that you don't have to have 2 level 5s in play. All you have to have is 1 stack, like a yellow stack, and then you Jogress and you can play the purple level 5 out of your hand to get the Jogress. So she's going to be...
I think the way this is meant to work is, say, like you pass your turn by evolve, like you have a yellow level 5 established, right?
Yeah.
And then you end up like digivolving, say, a Lady Devi Moth. You activate its skill and it passes to 2. Then the end of the turn triggers, which means cool, I can use this Gaomon skill then to Jogress into.
Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah. So you don't get it for free, but you get the ability. Or...
You get to Jogress at the end of the turn, so you don't have to like ensure that at the end of the turn, like on your turn, you have a purple and a yellow level 5. You can just have like a yellow level 5 and then build up to it, and even if it passes your turn, you can still Jogress.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah, so you pass your turn and then you can kind of Jogress after your turn, potentially get like a couple of kills off, which is... It's an I didn't even notice the end of turn part. It's an interesting wording. So it's almost like you said, you pass your turn and then you go up into it, and after your turn's passed, but then you still potentially kill 2 things on your opponent's board.
Yeah, it's a weird wording on it, but it seems like definitely a powerful ability.
And then we've got the Wizardmon that is just a vanilla 6k body. The weird thing though is he's a 6k body vanilla, which we've commonly seen Digivolve for 1, but I believe their hard play cost is 6, so it makes sense he's a 5 to hard play, 2 to Digivolve.
Yeah. They also kind of want to overstat the evolution cost and the play cost of these like dual colors, obviously, because you can use them in more than one deck.
Yeah, so it'd be a bit broken running around with a 1 cost 6k body that can Digivolve off either color.
Yeah, you'll definitely see that with the next 2 cards.
Yeah, but to be fair, I'm really looking forward to the Wizardmon because it's done by my favorite artist, Koki. So it's another one of those really detailed, almost watercolor looking pieces. So it's gonna be another one to add to my collection.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll let you take these 2 boys.
So next up we have is Paildramon, the green level 5 that can evolve from a power cost of 8 and a play Digivolve cost of 4 from both green and blue with 8,000 DP. The Paildramon actually has the Jogress, which means probably Imperial Dramon won't. So if you're looking forward to the green star deck having the Mega Have Jogress, sorry, it's probably the ultimates that are getting them, because that's how it worked in 02.
The canonical way of it.
Yeah, definitely. So the Jogress requirement is a blue level 4 and a green level 4, which is what you'd expect at this point. Which, even in the current Imperial Dramon list, I don't think this is too hard to fulfill. Like the Japanese Imperial Dramon list, because they have the Stingmon from EX that can evolve from a blue.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be... The thing is with Imperial, it's a deck that's been coming back every single set, and they gave it some love in EX01. This is giving it some more love, and then we've got BT8, which is all about 02, which is going to be all about Imperial as well. So he's getting a lot of love. We're going to see some crazy builds. I don't know if they're going to potentially, just to kind of offset it, make the Imperial stuff a different color in BT8, just to kind of, so they're not chucking so much at this like one deck.
Yeah, I would say hopefully, but knowing this game, it's probably going to go into blue like it always does.
Yeah.
Anyways, when evolving, if this Digimon evolved through Jogress evolution, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less to the bottom of their deck. So you can get rid of the pesky blockers.
Yeah, 6k blockers as well.
Yeah, both. Which is very important, especially when a lot of people, even in Japan, are still playing 6k blockers when they are playing them. Then, when attacking, once per turn, put this Digimon to active. So, 2 attacks with Paildramon. no inheritables either, which first play Ultramon without inherits.
Yeah. I mean, he's an 8k body this time at least. So obviously
Yeah.
Dino B was 8k last time. But that obviously the Jogress is going to make it free, but that 4-cost Digivolution is potentially passing a turn anyway. So you're going to want to get those Jogresses off. Otherwise, it's just an expensive Digivolution. I mean, what's this now? This is... Oh, no, to be fair, you can put... Is it the... You could give this jam in from the EXO one.
Yeah, the XVmon.
XVmon, so potentially you don't even care. So you could get 2 attacks with jam and then go into the
Old Imperial.
Yeah, BT3 Imperial restand and get an attack again. Yeah, so it could... I can see a lot of combos with this. I'm really excited to see some more of this and get this on Tabletop Simulator and have a play with it.
I'll check after this if it's on Tabletop and maybe off game after the podcast. Anyways, next up is Dino Bumon. A green-blue level 5, 8 cost to play normally, 4 to evolve from blue or green, 8000 DP. Same requirement as Pyodramon for Jogress, a blue level 4 and green level 4. But this time, when evolving, rest one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if this Digimon was evolved through Jogress, that Digimon cannot be put in the active state on an opponent's next active phase. So, the reward for Jogress, obviously, this time is you get to pin something down for a turn, rather than just suspend and swing over it. Which is really powerful, considering this doesn't specify levels, it just suspend anything.
Yeah, and especially with the inheritable, you could potentially go into the EXO Imperial. Say Jogress into it, keep it your turn, you're on 3 memory, go into the EXO Imperial. You've then got, plus 4k? So you'll be swinging at 15 at a base, and you can swing over most things, so it allows you to set up to swing over something big on their side.
Yeah. And then probably the ESS, the inheritable skill that launches the most questions is your turn. This Digimon gains 1000 DP for each color this Digimon has. Because this is implying future proofing.
Yeah, because this is the same wording we get on the EXO one that I was just talking about, the EXO Imperial one. Here's the same wording that this Digimon gains 1k DP for each colored Digimon in the stack. So we're somehow going to get like a rainbow stack and have him swinging at 20k.
Yeah, so I think something like unique this. So I don't normally say this like people, but I would be really hyped whenever they release Merciful Mode, because Merciful Mode is like one of my highlights of Try. I loved it. So like I would like Merciful Mode in this to just be like a rainbow Digimon, so it's a Digimon of all colors. So this could and if it was that, then this Digimon would hyper buff it.
Oh.
Like it's obviously theory crafting, but like this could potentially lead to having a 3-color Digimon, 4-color Digimon, and then this can just super buff them.
It's definitely exciting to see where it will go from here, because you can see that they've got ideas to keep this game being pushed in the future.
Yeah. So
it's exciting, and the thing is, the Steam's not going down. It's going full steam ahead. I mean, I just sent you a message today saying, PewDiePie's opening BT5 on YouTube. He had I think it was 15,000 people watching him. If a percentage of that gets into Digimon, just think of the audience is expanding.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of insane, especially with how little this game does in advertising.
Everyone seems to advertise it for them. That's why they don't pay any.
Yeah, it's I think the only time this game has ever got advertised was when it announced it was coming to the English. Everything else has been just off the back of the community.
Yeah, which, to be fair, it's got a very dedicated community, so I think it'll be okay. If they keep doing what they're doing, you know, uh, sometimes they mess up with power scaling. Sometimes some decks are a bit too strong, but I think with the later sets in JP, it seems to have balanced out quite a bit. They're getting better at balancing the game.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the other good boy that was leaked, we've got Gamamon, which is from Digimon Ghost Stories, the new series that's coming out.
This game.
Ghost game. That's I know what it's called. Which he's it's a weird thing to get off for level 4. He's 1 to Digivolve, 4 to hard play, but on your turn, while you have a tamer, this Digimon can attack your opponent's active Digimon. So he's a 4k body rookie that can basically just slay other rookies.
It's a weird one.
I can't see. Yeah, he's niche, but a lot of the promos like that, they're just weird niche little cards.
Our last like promotion that was for a different product wasn't exactly the most niche thing in the world. Hi, Pulsmar.
Well, yeah, he was a bit more. They gave him a bit too much juice. I think they've calmed down with this guy.
Yeah,
but yeah, not really much to say about him. It looks a fun little thing. Maybe 1 tech of, maybe 2, just to clear out some rookies. But I'm assuming that I think they'll do what they did with Pulsmon. I think BT8 will see some of his Digivolution line, if not all of his Digivolution line in there.
We'll probably see his champion. Because Pulsmon, the first set it was in was BT6, which was the first set after the Vital Bracelet was released.
Yeah.
And that had Boltmon in it. And then I think next hero comes out, I think I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes into Ghost Game, because Ghost Game actually starts in 2 weeks, which is weird to think about. It's like a week and a half actually. Because as soon as Adventure, the reboot ends, like the next week is when Ghost Game starts.
Wasting any time, are they?
No. Which is, to be fair, what they did with the original show. Literally, it's like as soon as one show finished, the next week is the new show starting. So, yeah, definitely expect BT8 will be seeing more good Gamamon.
And then out of nowhere, we had the Tamer Evolution Box 2 announced. Which again is nothing groundbreaking. We've got some really nice looking alt arts, really like amazing looking playmat, which I'm really excited to get my hands on. And then really nice sleeves, deck box, nothing mandatory, just a nice little celebration.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. Like the alt arts look really good. A few of them are actually really important cards in the meta. The sleeves are nice. I didn't pick up the original Tamer's Evolution box because I wasn't a big fan of the stuff that was in it, but this is something I'm definitely picking up.
It's got a really nice playmat and some really nice sleeves with it. And the thing, I think pre-orders have already gone up for it in America with this, and Japan. We've not seen any over here. But if it's anything like the other box, if it is something you're interested in, pre-order it as soon as you can, because the first box sold out so quickly and you just couldn't get hold of it. And now I think to get one of the boxes, I think it was originally like £65-70, and now to get hold of them they're like 120, 130. So it's worth picking it, like pre-ordering it so you can pick it up as and when it comes out, instead of trying to get on the secondary market, because that is never fun.
Yeah, I think something I will say, like the important like reprints of stuff, which like will be nice to put in decks, is obviously the Agunimon. I would say Vmon, but it's the BT2 one, which isn't. It's not the BT3 Vmon, which is.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think this is his second alt art as well, because we had the DC
Grand
Cup,
Prix one.
the Grand Prix Cup. Yeah, that's the one. So we just had the Grand Prix one. Now we've got this one as well.
Yeah, the Gallantmon is the one from the new starter deck. That's going to be the new starter deck for us at least. And yeah, that Guillomon's really good, really powerful. And then the white option card at the bottom, win rate 60%, is also a very, very good option. People in the Discord know because I talk about this card a lot.
Yeah. cards are really pretty, but again, this is just a vanity thing. It's nothing. There's no specific promos that you can only get from this, or at least that they've announced so far. So it's kind of just a nice little collector's piece, but it's definitely one I'll be picking up. And then we was it just today? I think we had the
I think it was today. We got this.
The name for the EX02, which is Digital Hazard. We also got what's coming in it. I'm assuming this is going to be in the old Digimon Colosseum style as well. They haven't announced that yet.
I think EX01 was just Digital Colosseum because it was the classic collection. I think this is going to be more like Tamer's like artwork style.
Yeah, it could be just a
generic,
just a small set with just all Tamers focused. I'm assuming it'll just be Tamers, like Digimon from the Tamers series. It wouldn't make sense if it wasn't. You've got your 2 secret rares. I'm assuming that's going to be like, I'm going to get a bit of theory crafting there. I'm going to assume it's going to be, is it burst mode or blast?
Yeah, Beelzemon burst mode. Blast mode.
Yeah, blast mode. And then isn't there another version of Gallimon?
Yeah, Gallimon Crimson mode.
Yeah, so I reckon it'll be those two, like 2 big boys from here. And then you've got, which is
those were the 2 I was suspecting.
To be fair, it's surprising because the last EXO set had 1 secret rare, so they've upped the secret rare again. I'm not sure that the super rare amount that was in the last set. I probably should have looked up before.
Let's have a look. Because I had products open. You keep talking, I'll look it up.
But again, it's just a relatively small set. 26 commons, 20 uncommons, 18 rares, 8 super rares, 2 secret rares. So it's only 74 cards when commonly we get about 112.
112 is the norm.
Yeah, so it's just over half of what we'd normally get. But in JP, these are half boxes as well, so it's only 12 packs per box. So it'll just be, again, when we get over it'll just be a full box. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see the ratios.
Just checked, it's all of the ratios are the same for the last EXO except the extra secret rare.
Hopefully it's not as hard to get, because I think it was 1 in 4 boxes for Machinedramon.
I think it was 1 in 4 boxes for Machinedra. So
hopefully you'd hope they reduce that, added an extra 1 in, but I guess only time will tell. But yeah, it was something that was dropped like last minute today that I chucked in here. I'm a big fan of the Tamers series, so it'd be nice to see a few of the fan favorites. I'm assuming they'll put a lot of work into the Renamon line because she's a fan favorite, and they barely touched on her. None of her cards are like too memorable. So I think they'll.
Securemon's a nice tech.
Yeah, Securemon's a nice tech, but I think they'll put more effort into the lines, especially the main 3. So we'll see like a new Mega Gargamon, a new Gallimon, a new Securemon, a new Beelzemon. And I'm assuming they'll just pick some more villains from now. But yeah, it'll be a nice set. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it doesn't have a crazy amount of. How many alt arts were there in the last EXO set?
30. Yeah,
30. So hopefully they've calmed down a bit and there won't be 30. But I guess we'll wait and see for that. And then this brings us to the BT6 card reveals. We'll come to the end of this now because they have actually, by the time this video's out, they've actually revealed all cards on their website. So we're planning at some point going through just doing a set review, looking at each color, going over what we think is gonna, like what's got weight to it, cards that we think just are gonna kind of fall by the wayside. So we'll go over these, but then we're going to be doing a set review as well, so we'll be going over them all together. So you got Gankamon. When Digivolve and delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. He's a good way to kill things like security control, because you can Digivolve into him and clear out. Because normally they're only playing top end, so you can clear out something top end. And while your opponent has an unsuspended Digimon, this gains security attack +1. So I think he's a nice little card. I don't think he's anything too strong, but JP side play a lot different to us, so maybe when he's over here we'll figure out something different for him, because Black's having something of a renaissance at the moment over here, as you'll see later. So maybe people have figured out exactly how to play Black finally, and all it's taken is almost a year.
Yeah.
And then we've got Alphamon, which at the end of the battle, if you see it in security, at the end of the battle, add this card to your hand. Then if a Digimon with Raw Knight or X antibody and its type is in play, up to 12 of your opponent's Digimon can't attack players for this turn. Which I was confused why it was 12, but it just shows how smart I am with the Digimon lore. Because that wholly filled me in.
Yeah, the reason why it's 12 is because there's 13 Royal Knights and Alphamon is the leader. So -1 for himself, and then it's the number 12.
So he's just there to keep all the others in check.
Which I think this is a real shame, because this card would have been so good in this, like in BT5. Because the big deck of the format is a Royal Knight deck in Lord Nightmon.
Yeah, so it'd been a good way to kind of keep him in check. But then you've got again, which would have been a nice ability for swinging over Lord Knights. When attacking, you may pay up to 5 memory. If you do, this Digimon gets +1k DP for the turn for each memory paid. So it's a good way to boost him up to swing over things. Yeah, it's going to cost you memory, but to be fair, clearing something big off your opponent's board is worth the investment normally. And then end of the attack, gain 2 memory. So theoretically, you're only potentially costing yourself 3 memory.
Could just gain 2 off of it and choose to pay 0.
Yeah, or just attack vanilla at your base DP and then just gain 2 memory from attacking, which is nice as well.
Also, with the security ability, it doesn't stop the opponent from attacking Digimon. Just players.
Yeah, so just protects you, stops you from
pushes.
Yeah, but I don't think either of these two are bad cards. I think Japan's meta is so different. They've just, like, these cards were played with, but obviously from what I saw for BT6, security control was massive. You've got Gabu Bond, you've got 3 Musketeers,
Jesmon.
Yeah, Jesmon, which are all big, powerful decks that kind of outshone. But as we've seen over here, all it takes is one person thinking in a different way to kind of create something unique that really pushes forward. So I think players are going to start looking at decks differently over here, because looking at what's been winning, it's been a lot of teching in a lot of different cards and just playing 1-ofs, 2-ofs, not really investing much more than that, but still coming out on top.
Yeah. I've seen a lot more 3-ofs recently than 4-ofs.
Yeah, 4-ofs, you don't seem to get many people committing to that now. And I'll let you take the purple boys.
Alright, so first up we have Goblimon. For the inheritable, your turn, once per turn, when you trash a card from your hand using one of your effects, this Digimon gains 2000 DP. Really nice for the Taiamon deck, because you're going to be discarding a lot. I think even just purple in general, you're already discarding a fair amount. Having a nice DP boost, which is a rarity for purple, it's going to be nice to have.
Yeah, they've definitely thought about synergy of purple. I think every card really pushes towards just one goal with what's in the purple set, and I do like how it all synergizes together.
Yeah. The next card is Ogremon, which is on play, you may trash one of your trash a card in your hand to delete an opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Oh, this card's so good. Whenever I'm playing JP meta, I just love play purple. This card normally finds its way in there because this effect is just ridiculous.
Pay 5 to gain a body, kill a blocker, and stack your trash.
Yeah. Well, you could discard one of the next cards we're going to talk about, which technically just gives you more advantage.
Yeah. So that card is Skull Greymon. So when you trash this card in your hand using one of your effects, you may place it under one of your purple Digimon at the bottom of this Digivolution card. And then its ability is, when attacking, you may trash one card in your hand to have this Digimon gain 3k DP for the turn. So it basically means you can trash this in your hand to chuck it underneath to get retaliation on whatever you want. You can put it under a rookie, so you can blow up something big with a rookie, because you're already trashing things in your hand quite often to activate a lot of the abilities, so you really don't mind. And the thing is, you're activating an ability by trashing a card, but the card's not being trashed, it's being put straight into play and giving you that added bit of aggression.
Another nice thing, you can put this retaliation under blockers.
Yeah.
And that's really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, because it basically stalls your opponent out. Like, they're not going to want to attack. They're going to have to try and find a way around it. And then we've got Titamon, which this is one of the decks I'm really looking forward to for the next set. So when Digivolving, trash one card in your hand, then you may play one purple level 4 or lower Digimon from your trash without paying its memory cost. There is a Digimon in this set that is level 4 and is absolutely broken, but we'll go over that over the set reviews. Who synergizes perfectly with this. We were playing in Tabletop Simulator I think it was last week, and it was my first real go at this deck, and it just synergizes so well. And then his other ability is your turn once per turn. When you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, this Digimon gets 2k DP and secure attack +1. You get tamers that can help you trash. You get rookies that can help you trash as inheritables. You're always going to be able to get that trash off, so you're always going to be swinging at 14k secure attack +1 as a minimum, which is scary, because it's
real scary.
Because you can kind of turn it into a situation where they're okay to trade the one security to now you're taking 2, so it's going to force blocks. But it gives purple that aggression, and obviously he's 4 to Digivolve, but there's again Digimon in this set that aid inheritables to this that gain a memory when trashing, so he's basically a 3 cost if you've got the right stack. But I'm really excited for this set, and we'll delve deeper into it and like what kind of builds we'd look at for purple when we go through that colored set.
Yeah, for sure. I'll take over the next 3 cards because they're all using the same deck, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Do you know what? I think you have such knowledge of it. You can take over the next. I think it's the 6 card, so it's the 3 Digimon and the 3 options.
Yeah, and you can do the tamers. Okay, so this is the 3 Musketeers. This is a deck I'm really, really excited for because the way this deck plays is super cool. The idea of this is just constant board clearing. And we'll see that with their 7 cost options. So first up is Magna Kidmon, security attack +1. Kind of what you expect from a red card, doing even more security checks than normal. And then when Digivolving, you may choose an option card with a play cost of 7 in your hand and play it without paying its memory cost. And if you don't delete one of your opponent's Digimon, with 4,000 DP or less, it can clear off some small stuff, but playing option cards from your hand for free, especially when they cost 7, is pretty nice when you evolve it for only 4. Then the next one is Gundramon, who just has blocker. It's a black card, you'd expect it to have blocker. And then when Digivolving, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. You may use an option card with a play cost of 7 among them without paying its memory cost, and then crash the remaining cards. If you don't use an option card, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less. Both of these cards are pretty useful in the deck, but
yeah,
not as good as the next one.
Yeah, they're definitely designed to give you that aggressive style where you're constantly pushing forward. You're either using a 7 cost option, which, as we know, they're usually quite strong, but as we'll see, they're getting even stronger. But yeah, it's this slide, this kind of the finishing touches.
Yeah, this is definitely the meat and bones of the D Brigade. Not D Brigade, 3 Musketeers. Why am I saying D Brigade? Anyways, the main one, Seeker Beelstarmon. When playing with card from your hand, you can reduce the memory cost by 1 for each 3 Musketeers Digimon. Add option card with a play cost of 7 from your trash, which is absurd. I could have made this card cost like 2-3 memory at some points. being able to play this for 3, especially as a mega, is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it gets even better, because on play you can return an option card with a memory cost of 7 from your trash to your hand, then use an option card from your hand with a memory cost of 7 without paying the memory cost. So this means you can Trump Sword for free, you can Nail Bone for free.
They were nice enough to introduce 3 new option cards that are 7 cost as well.
Yeah. But first off, of course, there's Digimon, which is the champion that goes with all of these, which is on play, reveal a top 4 card to your deck, add a Digimon card with 3 Musketeers in its type, and/or 1 option card with a memory cost of 7 among them to your hand. Trash the remaining cards. And then this Digimon can digivolve into a Digimon card with 3 Musketeers in its type from your hand for a memory cost of 6, ignoring its Digivolution requirements. Ooh.
It's a good way to burst into 6s, but I think, like, just from what I've seen the main play of this deck, I may be wrong, you've played it a lot, the main play of this deck is Bellstarmon. She's your main piece, and the others are just kind of aiding you to get there.
Yeah, Bellstarmon is mainly what you want to keep cycling through and through with the deck.
The options.
Yeah, the options. All 3 of the next options we're going to show you has this condition where if there is a 3 Musketeers, you do not care about the color requirement, which means, say if I have Bellstarmon on the field, I can play both of these options despite them not being purple, which is really strong. So first up is Happy Bullet Showering, which lets you delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. Which is, if the stars align and all of their Digimon have the same DP, this is amazing. But still, it's nice for single target removal.
Yeah, if it's single target mega, it's just you're potentially playing it for free anyway.
Yeah, and say, like, if the only thing they have is, say, like a Zwart defeat or something, then it just kills it. And then you're not too bothered if, say, something like the Bellstarmon goes to the trash anyways. Because you can just fish it back out. Next up, Gwelshwarmer. If you have the normal condition of 3 Musketeers, and then main, delete all Digimon with a play cost of 7 or less. The first real board clear in the game.
It's a scary card. Obviously, it clears your own board as well, but if you're playing 3 Musketeers, the likelihood of you having anything with a play cost of 7 or lower is quite low. And the thing is, even if you do, you're not too fussed about it, because if you're able to clear their entire board for killing one thing of yours, you're not going to mind.
No. Even then, most of the time, you're killing like Impmons or like a Labra. And with Impmon, you gain advantage for killing it anyways by putting more cards in trash. And then the final option card for 3 Musketeers is Fly Bullet, which is just delete one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon. So it's just power Trump Sword, really.
Yeah, so we've now got, to be fair, it's only a 6 cost. We've got Hellgate, which will kill a level 6 and above, and now we've got one that will kill a level 6 or lower. Obviously, at first glimpse, it doesn't seem like a great price to pay. You're paying 7 to kill 6 or lower, but in this deck, you're playing it for free. So that 7 cost, all it is it's just a imaginary number to this deck, because it really doesn't care about it. It's never hard playing, or even if it is, you usually don't mind, because you're probably doing it just to stack up your trash, so next turn you can play a Bellstarmon for 2 or 3 memory.
Yeah, I think, like, obviously people can compare this card to Trump Sword, because that's like their old removal option for 7. And I think like this is just slightly better, just because it doesn't have to be. It can be suspended or unsuspended when targeting it for deletion. Sure, you don't hit the megas, but I don't think you mind if it's open to use more of the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. And if you want to delete a level 7, you've got the other option. You've got the Happy Bullet to get that. And in this deck, obviously, you have when you play a Bellstorm, you can pick and choose what one you want to bring back. So you've got one for every situation sitting there. It doesn't really matter. You're going to be able to clear out what you want anyway.
Yeah, and especially it's just like you can still run Drum Sword in the deck, so if the level 7's unsuspended, you just kill it with Drum Sword anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an interesting looking deck. I'm looking forward to seeing it in action. I've only ever seen like gameplay videos of it, but it's always different when you get it in your hand and you see how it functions. But then we got dual tamers again. This is from the Kizune movie. So we've got TK and Kari. So start of your turn, if you have fewer security cards than your opponent, gain 2 memory, which in yellow is very controllable. And when one of you yellow
easy to do.
Yeah, it's something that you'll have complete control in, so you're not too worried about it. And then when one of your yellow Digimon attack, you may suspend this tamer to have one of your opponent's Digimon get -1 Gate DP. So it's just extra control for yellow, which I don't think they needed. But I guess with this set, with the power ceilings going up, it just gives them something to kind of keep up as well. I mean, did it see much play, the TK and Kari?
Yeah, this was basically in every yellow list.
Yeah, so it's just kind of, I guess you'd run like TK and Kari, and that'd be your 2 yellows. And then you've got the best tamer of the set. Start of your turn, if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, gain 2 memory. Which is
easy to control.
Yeah. And one of your black Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this tamer to trigger draw 1. So black finally gets even more draw power, which is something they desperately need. I believe they get a baby in this, a Digitama that has the same effect, that on deletion, draw 1.
It's on deletion, reveal the top card if it's a black Digimon added.
So they're finally giving black some more draw power, trying to bring them up to speed with it. And obviously if you're running 3 Musketeers, you might as well chuck this in, because again you're doing it for the memory gain. You're not too fussed about having something set down for an option card, because any one of your 3 Musketeers can get over that. But I guess it just gives you the option to play Gale Shawarma if you want, without having a Digimon down. And then one of my favourites is the purple one. So start of your turn, if your opponent doesn't have a level 4 or lower Digimon in play, gain 2 memory. Now you're able to kill level 4s or lowers pretty easy in purple. So you could potentially set this up the turn before. It's not as easy to control as your opponent just has to have 2 Digimon, but it's something, if they've just built up 1 stack, you're gaining 2 memory. But the main ability that really makes this card great is when one of your purple Digimon attack, you may suspend this tamer to trigger draw 1, then trash 1. So for Titamon, you don't have to have a Digimon in your stack that gives you that ability, so you're gaining that security +1 and that 2k just from attacking if you have this tamer down, so you don't need to worry on any other combo pieces in your stack.
Yeah, this is
quite nice.
Something also nice you can do with this is you can just swing Tapirmon into any level 6 of your choosing, then when attacking, discard the Skull Greymon, put it underneath the Tapirmon, and draw a card.
Oh, yeah. Didn't even think about that. Yeah,
yep,
so this...
Just give anything that you're attacking with retaliation.
Yeah, so it gives you control over those Skull Greymon, so you can just blow up things, which I'm looking forward to. Again, I think it was a big shock for me this meta, seeing how different ours was from JP, because we had the same meta, we had the same cards as they did, and in JP, Gallantmon was like the second best deck. I was really excited to use him, but because we're way more aggressive over here, you see these decks that are more control based that just don't do as well, because all we want to do is just rush. So it'll be exciting to see how the meta changes based on JP, see if these slower paced cards, see if the slower paced cards kind of see much play, or if you're going to see a deck like Titamon that is super aggressive, if that's going to gain more steam over here, because it is that gameplay where you're just swinging, killing things as you're swinging, trashing your own cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, not long now to find out. And I think that was it for the card reveals. Then we've just got this little thing here. So they decided to do some censoring again. But this time it was really weird censoring. I didn't bring the other cards over like I should have. But with Digimon, all they did is they took the smoke off of his gun. But with Gundramon, they changed a big part of the art, which is they took away the bullet hole, and they took some smoke off his gun. The Three Musketeers are all about shooting guns, and they didn't change Bellstarmon. They didn't change the fact that he's firing his guns. They just took the bullet hole off and took some smoke off, which I think is a weird censorship. Because I think it's a cool effect on the card.
Super weird. Yeah, I really like the effect of the bullet holes, like coming out of the card.
I think Digimon, I get it's like reference to the weapon just being fired, but we literally just had cards with weapons being fired on them, and they were cool with it. So it's just a bit of a weird censorship.
You can still see the bullets like leaving it.
Yeah, you can see the bullets and smoke. So it's weird that they censored these two, but at least it's not a whole new Digimon again. It's just
thanks System on CL.
Yeah, just a little bit. But that is it for the card reveals this time. Obviously, it's a lot more news this time, a lot more news heavy. So we've still got some deck lists to go through. We're going to go over them, but we won't be putting as much time into them as we normally do, just because we don't really want to push the episode too long. So same as last time, we're still going over the Gordo Games top 3. Surprise, surprise. First place for last Thursday's was yellow. It is a Mastimon build though. We've not seen a Mastimon version up, so it's like what they call Yellow Omni. But this one invests more into the Valder arms than Omni, so it's a yellow list. It's a little bit different to what we've been seeing. This one's more tech heavy because you see you got 4 Lord Knight, 2 Mastimon, 1 Slash, 1 Wargrey, 1 Zwart, 2 Chaos Arms. So it's a bit more like we're talking where people are starting to just play more of tech pieces.
Yeah, especially with like the 2 cute one as well.
Yeah. So it's nice to see that the lists are changing.
Also Labramon.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I didn't even see Labramon.
Not seen Labramon in a while.
Yeah, it's a different list.
They changed the ruling.
Yeah, it's a different list. It's nice to see Mastamon getting some play because she's one of my favorite Digimon, but it's still yellow. But then we had a green on Thursday. Now I've not played much green. I've just started getting into green over the past week, so I'm learning to love it a bit. It's quite a safe list. Usually you see more Nidhogg than Rafflesia, just because I personally think she's great. You think she's okay, and other people think she's useless. So, but I think 4 is a big investment. You want to see it as make 2 of at a push, 3, but more just 2 of.
Yeah, I'd say probably 2 or 3 is a safe place to put it if you're going to run it.
It's playing 4 of that and 3 of Nidhogg. You're locking yourself out of having those interesting tech pieces like a 1 of Hercules, Kabuteru from the starter deck, or a 1 of Promo Grand Kawaga. Just something that's going to help you in different situations.
Yeah, I'm guessing like the reason like Grand Kawagamon maybe is that they don't have the Palmon because I don't see it in here.
Yeah,
just
true.
generally nice.
No jam in Pal, but again, it's an expensive card. Maybe they just didn't have it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good list. I'm a big fan of Lilamon. I think she puts in a lot of work. So a 4 of, but yes, it's a nice green list. And then we've got a yellow. But what's weird is they play Superstarmons.
Yeah, Superstarmon's an odd one.
Yeah, I guess they want to have that cheap Digivolution, but they lent more towards having a higher DP, so you can still swing over things. Which makes sense, I guess, instead of going for what can I remember her name? Sirenmon, that's the one. Yeah, instead of going Sirenmon, just going for Starmons, Super Starmons. Yeah, it's But then they go heavy on the Meteor Shower as well, which is a 3-cost that allows you to play a Digimon with Starmon in its name. So I guess that's where they're leaning. They're able to get their level 5 out for 3, and then go up into Lord Nightmon.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. It's definitely a more unique take on Lord Nightmon.
Yeah. I mean, we've got no Wargroundmon, no Angelwoman.
Yeah, and normally like the deck loves having Angelwoman.
You're not seeing any of the level 6 techs either, just Lord Nightmon.
Yeah, and 4 Gladimon, which I don't agree with, but you know, each to their own.
But yeah, maybe they heard our comments the past couple of weeks where we've been saying, yep, it's yellow, not much different. So I mean, to be fair, these 2 yellow lists are quite different to what we'd normally see.
Yeah, definitely.
They're trying different things, and they placed well. So, but then we had something strange happen over the past week. So Sunday we saw a bit of a renaissance for black. So this is the main man himself, Gordo's deck. Took a bit of inspiration off of the winning decks for Evo that we'll be going over as well. It's a weird meta because black has always had this power, and to be fair, in JP, Metal Garurumon saw some play, but over here he just kind of got forgot about until a couple of people realized how good the card was, because he's super aggressive. Just on Digivolution, Digiburst 2 allows you to delete a 6-cost Digimon. If they don't have a 6-cost Digimon, it allows you to trash a security, which is a crazy ability, and it just kind of was overlooked for ages because I think Lord Knight just had such a good win rate that everyone was drawn to that and didn't really look at much else.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you look over at like Yellow's win rate of JP, I think it was definitely spiking more towards the 50, coming up 60% win rate. Like,
yeah,
over all tournaments, which is a scary number, especially when like the next highest was I think around the 15 area, 15%.
Yeah, not a ban list in sight. But no,
Yellow's fine now, don't worry.
Yeah, it's fine. They put it in its place eventually. Yeah, I mean, until
2 sets of nothing.
Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting list. I've not had a chance to play around with the black build yet. I was looking at building one. I haven't got around to kind of finding my pieces, but I think it's just we'll see from another one. It's a very toolboxy deck, so you can just tech in one ofs. Like the one of Blitz is great. Digivolve 2 and Piercing, just helps you knock your opponent down. A one of Omni or S just again allows you to potentially clear board. 3 defeat, when they pop up in your security is great. But yes, it's a weird little renaissance we're having, but it's doing really well. I don't know if that's because no one knew what black cards actually did, and suddenly when they were faced against them, they didn't know how to react because no one plays black. Which it could be the case.
Yeah, it could be like a similar situation. I think I talked with Gordo about this, with it being kind of like the red Garurumon deck that we saw in 1.5. No, because that was going around for a couple weeks, and then after like its 2 or 3 weeks of fame, it kind of just died off.
Yeah, it just disappeared.
Because I remember playing that deck, and I didn't see much success with it.
Yeah, but I think it's just, to be fair, I've been throwing myself at this deck for a couple of days, just trying to see how it ticks, see what works around it. But it doesn't help that I'm currently doing it with a new deck, which we can look at right here, because I was actually second on Sunday with my spicy little my Bancho list. So this is my take on green. I'm not a green player. Last time I played green, I think was near the middle end of BT4, and I built one deck because I was like, imagine if Chaosmon had like an Omni, there was like a Chaosmon version of like Red Turbo Omni. So I built one for green and put Bancho as like the main guy to kind of swing through things. It's a fun deck. I was doing really well with it, but then Gordo has a voodoo power of making me brick, so I misplayed first game, and then I just bricked after that, so there wasn't much else I could do about it. But it played really well. I enjoyed playing it as well. This is a very control deck that I'm not used to. I'm used to playing a lot of either OTK or a lot of rush style decks. So it was nice to have that variation. And I did enjoy it. I've made some changes through it now, so maybe you'll see a list up next week where I've tweaked it a bit, but it was good fun and I enjoyed playing it. And then we've got a pure Diaboromon list.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see Diaboromon at least has done something.
I looked at the participation list, and I think it was something silly, like there was only out of the 16 people, there was 2 yellows. I think there was more Garurus, black Garurus than the yellow, just because he'd obviously topped.
I believe there was one Lord Nightmon.
Oh, so one. Yeah, so there wasn't much at all. Everyone was kind of playing their own thing, having a bit of fun, which was nice to see. So it's the first week since starting the podcast. So this would be the 6th tournament since starting the podcast, and finally we've not seen yellow. We have seen 2 black decks though. But I went against Fuwafi. He was a really good player. I just managed to draw better when it came to our game. They were bricking, but no, they played Diaboromon really well. I think Diaboromon can be threatening and scary if he's played right. But you just need to know when to be bringing out your tokens, when to go into your level 6 to kind of swarm. Because I've seen people wait till last minute, only have 2 level 5s on board. They've got 3 erratas down, and they go into 2 of the BT5 Diaboromon, and they create it's like 6 tokens with rush, and then they've all got game now. So I think if you play it right, it can do well. If we see this slower meta of black taking over, I think Diaboromon's going to gain some strength because it's good at those slower matches.
Yeah, because all Diaboromon needs is time to set up.
Yeah, and those decks give time, where Lord Knight just didn't. But then we've got Oli's list. We'll have to get you a new icon. Maybe we'll get you a nice one made up like mine.
Yeah. Stop using this Troze image.
So I'll let you go through these fun ones.
Cool. First deck we have this week is Blue Hybrid. Blue Hybrid is the deck that's probably been topping the most consistently. I think when most people first looked at the cards that Blue Hybrid got, they kind of just assumed this deck would take off and do a lot because a lot of these cards are really good. But yeah, this person has decided not to go in for Magna Garurumon, which is kind of weird. Magna Garurumon's is the one that I've been seeing the most of in terms of blue representation, so kind of nice to see. Instead of Magna Garurumon, just more ancient Garuru and Beowulf. This is the.
It's a weird lineup because what you've got 4 level 5s, 2 level 6s.
Yeah, something we've been more seeing with the JP meta as of recent is a lot of weird ratios. BT7 kind of just throws everything that you thought you knew about Digimon out the window. If I'm gonna be honest. I've seen lists that only run 6 rookies in some variants. I've had lists like this that run 18, but this deck only runs 4 level 5s and 2 level 6s. But something that's definitely become apparent is the abundance of tamers and option cards that are going to get used. So, yeah, that's just kind of the weird thing. Tamers get to see more play.
Yeah, I guess because the main thing is even when you're just playing your tamers out, you're gonna use them as Digivolution sources anyway. So, but
Yeah.
it's,
I should probably also talk about the actual tamer in this. I'll let you finish. Sorry.
Yeah, the weird like to me, I was like, is this champion rush? But then I was like, there's only 11 champions, so it's like the win. What is the win con of this deck?
It seems to be just kind of slow chip and then warp up from Lobomon to get in the final blows. Like get it with, say, like Kendo Garurumon or what's the other guy called? Korikakumon. Look up the name then. It's the other level 4 between Nemon and Kendo. But yeah, the weird thing I think about this list is that it chooses to run Tommy as a tamer. Tommy is an on-play, gets to trash 3 Digivolution sources from any Digimon. So if you're an ultimate, then it trashes everything. And then as an inheritable, on attacking, you get to choose one of your opponent's Digimon without sources, and Sorrows blew it, so it can't attack and it cannot block. Which, my opinion, is much better than the Hexblow effect.
It's definitely a fun looking list. It's not. That's what I'm looking forward to when we start looking at deck building like JP is at the moment, which I think we've started to. Like our ratios are getting a bit weird, and at first I was like, "What do you mean you're not playing 4-obs?" And it's just like to tech things in, so you've got answers to all the different things. So you're not just relying on this 1 or 2 lines, which is nice. So
yeah, especially with a nice little tech in of Madoki Betamon.
Yeah, those two little guys are crazy.
Yeah, quite nice. Yeah, I think it's on to the next deck, which is more black. But this time this is X Antibody. So this is a deck that all likes to just build up its evolution stack, which is probably why you see the X Antibody in there, because you can get like 7-8 stacks pretty easily, thanks to Dorugoromon, Dex Dorugreymon, and Dorugreymon, as they allow you to, I think on evolution, the champion, ultimate, and then the mega on attacking lets you just put cards from hand into the sources, which again is super powerful. Yeah. Something I thought was a little odd, but kind of more makes sense, is not using the brand new option card that they got in BT7, which was Metal Ball, Metal Cannon. For those who don't know what the card does, you target a Digimon with X Antibody and then draw a card for every evolution source under it.
Stop playing it because they were decking themselves out.
Yeah, probably. So, like with Dex Doru, if you swing with it and you'll obviously still have memory, then you could probably like play that and draw 6 cards off of it for 2 memory.
Crazy.
Yeah,
it's a good way to pass turn.
Yeah, it's a nice way to pass turn. Just casual draw 6. But again, it's probably just because of deck out limitations. Sonorizumon makes a comeback, which is obviously we've been seeing it a fair amount in the black lists, or the black Wargreymon, at least we saw with Gordo. Dex Dorugreymon gains 1000 DP for every inheritable source he has, so hitting this 13k to give it piercing is not the hardest thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
And of course, going off that more, it's why to run the Zubagon Punch. 13k is an easy number, so we can easily hit that 16 off the Zubagon and buff to our heart's content.
It's nice to see we're getting the X Antibody support. I mean, I'm assuming somewhere we're going to get an X Antibody set, which is where we're going to see all the gnarly art forms for all the X Antibody variants.
I'll imagine it'll be an AX set.
Yeah, maybe just they'll probably do like the popular ones, like your Wargreymon, your Metal Garus.
give us Mephisto, man. X
Yeah.
antibody. I want Mary Poppins. Those who don't know what I'm talking about, go look up Mephisto on X antibody. The easiest description is Satan Mary Poppins. And if you don't look at it off that description alone, what are you doing?
But a weird hybrid cover.
Yeah. This was one that kind of caught me off guard. Then I looked at it more and was like, this makes a lot of sense to do. So this is red-green hybrid. Obviously using the red as more of an engine to fuel the main card of the deck, Atomic Inferno. This forgotten card from ET4 was used a lot in Aldermon, like Beatdown, but after that, not much really.
Yeah, when I first saw this card in BT4, I was like, this card is amazing. Why is it not seeing more play? And then I played a hybrid, a red hybrid. I was like, it's because we don't have many cards to use it on at the moment.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to see a lot more play now that obviously we had a full set full of hybrid support. And I'm going to be honest, green probably makes a lot more use out of this card than red does.
Yeah, because they obviously have access to a piercing. And
yeah, especially when we have stuff like JP or Junpei, which I talked about last episode, giving piercing. So the main combo is you have your Rhino Kabuterimon. You activate the Atomic Inferno, you swing with it, and then you get to evolve into either Ancient Beetlemon or Ancient Troymon. This is more than likely going to have JP under it, so it's going to have piercing. And then you're just swinging with a 16 KDP, piercing, when blocked, gain 3 memory, and also when it deletes a Digimon by battle, thrash a security card. It does a whole lot.
Yeah, again, it's nice seeing people come up with these hybrid builds that obviously the game master, they didn't think of something like this, and it's just seeing what people can play around with and create, which is how we got the abomination of security control. But I feel like this is doing good with that power, not making a deck that completely ignores the mechanics of the game, but this is one that allows you to use the mechanics to benefit you. So you're still playing the game normally, but you're finding a way to use like an option card that wasn't meant for this color on this color, giving it added benefits.
Yeah, it's definitely. A nice weird little tech piece was BT5 Argomon, which I just see in this list.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like Japanese meta, like other than blue, it's seeing a lot of like yellow-purple control. That's another deck that's been doing really, really well over there, and a lot of their tamers, in order to do stuff, suspend themselves. So it's got stuff like Kara. Or earlier, so you can just, with the simple swing of a Salamon, like pick off other little rookies here and there.
Your mic just cut out pretty much through that whole bit.
Oh damn. So essentially, it's useful because it stops Kari, it stopped purple Kari and TK and Kari. Summarize the point I was trying to make.
Yes, I'm looking forward to what we can kind of come up with the next set, see if we can see anything that JP missed. And then I decided, instead of going over like a deck from me or Holy this week, we'd have a look at 3 of the top end decks for Gen Con and Evo. Just because if it was yellow, we would have ignored it, because we've seen enough yellow, but we actually saw different colours top in. So first, we've got one of the guys on one of the servers I actually play on. This was the open invitation, so it's open to anyone in the world, online Gen Con, and guy by the name of Fenton decided to go and enter in and win the whole thing with black. So as we were saying that they're seeing a bit of like a renaissance, this is kind of his answer to the current meta. And obviously Gordo's list took a lot of inspiration for this, so it's quite similar. And if you do want to see how this deck functions, if you head over to Gordo Games YouTube channel, I'll link it in the description. He actually sat down and did a deck profile with Fenton. So it's interesting seeing like the thoughts, why he put things in, like his matchups. But it's an interesting look at the meta. And as I was saying earlier, I've gone against it and it can do some damage, and it's scary when you don't know what it does.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely was interesting. Like I said before, like we're seeing a lot more 3-elves like we do in this list. Like all of the ultimate levels are 3-elves, most of the megas are 3-elves.
I think it's the right way, because you're gonna with the 3-elf, you're pretty much guaranteed you're gonna see it at some point during the game. So it allows you to tech in more pieces, give you more answers to situations instead of locking yourself down to 2 level 5s, 4 of each. You're kind of sitting there with either draw this or this, but with this you've got the option where if he needs a DP boost, he's got Gogmamon. If he needs to go up quickly, he's got Waramonze. If he wants to make his level 6 a blocker, he's got that option. So he's always sitting on one thing or another, so he's potentially able to kind of go up to different things in different situations.
Yeah,
like
I think I'm definitely gonna have to look into doing more of this 3-3-3 testing, because like ultimates recently I've been doing a lot of 4-3-2, having a main level 4 I always want to see be the 4. A nice one that most of the time is pretty decent as a 3, and then a nice little tech of as a 2.
I think another color that would benefit from this is purple, because that's a very toolbox color anyway. So something like this being able to play like several different megas, ultimates, and even champions, like I think you could see a lot of success with that color.
Yeah, definitely. I could see that doing well.
Then again, to mix it up, so for the Evo Cup for the EU, we had green win it. And again, this is we've thrown out like 3s of 2s of 1 ofs. It's a very bitty list, but it did well. They I think it was at 420 plus participants, and they came out on top. But the surprising thing with this list is it's running flower cannons. That was the thing that kind of threw me off, and whistling as well. Whistling's a really good card, so I'm surprised not more people play it. It's basically a Puppetmon that affects 2 cards. That if you have a Digimon with Digivolution with Digiburst. I don't know what my brain did then. If you have a Digimon with Digiburst, you gain 2 memory, so it's potentially a 4 cost. Stop 2 Digimon from attack, or suspends 2 Digimon they can't unsuspend on your opponents. No, sorry, it picks 2 Digimon they can't block or attack, which is really powerful. And but yeah, the weirdest thing is the flower cannons, because needle spray is a guarantee to spend on something that you want to suspend, where flower cannon, yes, it suspends all of your opponent's Digimon apart from blockers, which most of the time you want to get those blockers hit. So it's an interesting choice. I guess it's just hoping that it's a good rookie rush matchup, but you're only running 2 of, so the likelihood of it being hit in security is quite low. But I mean, it seems to put in work for this list.
Yeah, another weird thing I can see is probably Izzy and Mimi.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I can never remember the exact effect. I'm pretty sure it's when your Digimon's attacking.
Look at the top 3 and you can Digivolve. If it's when your level 5 is attacking, look at the top 3. And you can evolve it into a level 6 without paying the memory cost.
yes, but I don't see like it's an interesting attack, but I don't see what one you'd benefit that off of. I mean, you could digivolve into a Nidhogg, keep it your turn, but then it's how does that work? Say if you've got a full stack, would it be the attack happens and then it automatically digibursts, or would you be skipping a phase because it's when digivolve?
I think you can digivolve and then the rest of the attack goes through.
Yeah, so you would digivolve, digiburst, clear the board, then swing, and then continue the swing.
Yeah.
Then with the others, the digiburst is main phase. So Reflezimon, Grand Quagga, and Hercules Cabuterimon, you can't get off their digiburst when digivolving this way. I mean, you can do it after you've attacked, but yes, it's definitely a weird choice.
Way too much into this, and it's just there for if something's suspended, gain 2.
Yeah, that's all it is, and we're looking at the other ability. But yeah, that's probably the only reason
to note. If your opponent has a Digimon with reboot, you still get the memory.
Oh, really?
And Mizzy, because the start of your turn, well, reboot activates during your unsuspend phase, which is after start of turn. So you gain the memory off of the if they have a rebooter.
Yeah, I guess that's probably we're probably, like I said, looking too much into it. It probably is just for that extra memory, which is in a color that can digivolve for free. 2 extra memory can go a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
But I like this list. It's a lot of 1-ofs, 2-ofs, 3-ofs, but again, it gives you those options. It gives you're more likely to see something in to get you out of a situation where, unless you're locked into, say if you play like the other list where it's 3 Nidhogg, 4 Rafflesia, they're either going to see a Nidhogg or Rafflesia as their level 6. They may see a Nidhogg when they don't need to, or see a Rafflesia when they want to see a Nidhogg. Where with this, you can be like, oh, it's a Grand Quagga. I was hoping on a Nidhogg, but at least I can clear a couple of security with this.
Yeah.
And then we've just got the this is one of the so there's a couple of IRL Grand Prix, but this is just one of them that I picked. It's a different take on the black toolbox, where this one's using Blastmon, and I mean, again, it seems to do tricks. I think it was like 128 people in this IRL one, so he came out on top over a decent amount. Running 7 blockers to keep you defended. It's less bitty than the other one. It's got more of like a direct path. You want to you want to get into your Blastmons, get your get a Cinerizzer in play, get your piercing on him, so you don't matter if they pick something to block, get your double checks. It's a nice, interesting tech.
Highly different level 7 lineup.
Yeah,
I think that's the same as the up theirs.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like Armageddon, that's what Gordo's been testing, and he's been saying it's been putting in some real good work, because it stops people from, like, he was going against purple, and it stops them from using like their ultimate fusion, because why are they going to ultimate fusion? They're not going to gain the undigivolve from it, so it stops them at their level 6s.
Yeah,
so it's a nice one of tech. Then I don't know how I feel about the 2 Millenniumon. Yeah, you can,
I mean, Millennium's still a good card.
Yeah, I think as a 1-of it would have been good. A 2-of I think is like, he's a 13k body, which technically they don't run, but you can get a Zubagon punch off on him because it doesn't have to be black. So I think that'd be an interesting tech for it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, this list one, it put in work for him, so there's going to be a reason for it. Playing all this variety. It'd be interesting. I think he did a deck profile with someone, so it's out there somewhere. So maybe I'll watch that, get a bit of an explanation from him.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Do you know what's going to be interesting is seeing how North America's meta evolves while we're sitting in BT6 and they're stuck with BT5.
Yeah, see what the 4 more weeks of this now does to them.
Yeah, see what they come up with. No, and then that's it for our deck list today. We still wanted to go over a few deck lists, but we didn't want to linger on them too much, just because there was so much news to go over this time. We wanted to really put a focus into it. But as always, just giving a big shout out over at the Gordo Games Discord. Weekly webcam locals every Thursday and Sunday at 7 p.m. UK time. And as always, it's open to everyone worldwide. We are using a new system called Limitless, so you do have to submit a deck each time, but it's nice because it allows you to, at the end, when we publish it, you can look at all the decks that are in there, see what decks topped, see what cards they were using, see if there's any interesting text you can take away from it. So it's a nice thing to go look at. I do it myself. I'll go look at the tournament, see what people are playing, see if there's anything interesting, because all it takes is one person to think out of the box, and maybe you'll be seeing something that you normally wouldn't.
Yeah, it also makes it easier on us to make this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. It means I don't have to send out a message after every single local and be like, can top 3 please send me their deck list, so I can then I get photos of their deck list, and I go into digimoncard.dev, then I re-enter all their deck lists, and then I put it on the podcast. Now I just have to click 2 buttons, so it's nice and easy. And then coming up, we've got the Chaos Cup that I'm supporting, so I've sponsored it Sunday 26th, so it's not too long from when this video is going up. Obviously, if you are from the future, it has already happened, and we already know the winners, but at the moment it is not. So Sunday 26th, it is free to enter. Just giving back to the community. You know, it's nice when you've got a bit of prizing that's free, because there's no paywall. Then you can just jump in, have some fun. You've not invested anything into it, and if you win, you get a couple of things out of it, so it's quite nice. But that's happening on Sunday. I will be recording the games and chopping them up. I was uploading the full games, but I think if we have a round which is nothing but bricks, which we had last time, it's not very interesting to watch. So what I'll be doing is I'll be piecing up some of the best matchups and uploading those, so you kind of just get the true grit of it. You get to see decks pop off and real interesting battles, where if I record like I did yellow versus yellow, and it went on for all the way up until overtime, it was 50 minutes of back and forth for yellow. It doesn't sound too pleasant to watch.
No, not cool.
And then the only other thing is, as we said last time, we'll say it again this time, something big is coming. Watch this space. It's not long now. I mean, if you've been on the Ultimate TCG website and you know what Anthony does as a little side business, you might know what this is, but it's getting closer and closer. I reckon this time next week on the podcast we'll have something to show you. So watch this space. Big shout out again to Anthony over at Ultimate TCG for sponsoring what's coming up. It was really nice of him. Again, I just reached out to him, asked if it was something he wanted to be involved with, and he was more than happy to. So hopefully next week we'll be showing you exactly what that is and getting you all excited for it. But have you got anything else to tell the nice people, Holy?
No, that's it from me this week.
No, and that is it from me as well. So again, this is saying have a good evening, and look forward to seeing you next time from myself and Holy. And goodbye.
See ya.